I fucking love the rain. So I actually have a few people that help me physically, like on hand, like PTs. So I have Florida Occupational, which is one that we'll go to soon, that I've been going for quite a while with Alex and his crew. And then I have a local guy, and I mean local, like 2 minutes from the gym. His name's Gavin. He's a cousin of one of my lifters. And he's come a long way. He's one of these guys that's continuously learning, very ambitious, dedicated. So he's gonna go in there today, and he does, you know, the scraping, the massaging. He's very unique. This motherfucker will be like, eh, and you're like, that was nothing, and then the next day you feel awesome. So I don't know how that works, if it's some fucking straight up shaman stuff, but he gets it. And so we're gonna do that now. Now, what you're seeing now is I'm 7.5 weeks post operation. So it's a little bit more mobility, a little less pain. The conversations are a little bit brighter, it's not as much bruising. And obviously the stitches are out, so you can really kind of get after it. But you'll still see some good stuff when you'll get in there, because now both my legs are kind of pissed off. So it's gonna be about an hour, and then we go train after that. I traditionally don't get PT right before training, but it's not aggressive PT. So I can actually fucking get some, loosen up, break up scar tissue. Like I said, last week we popped a little bit of the quad muscle. So I've been trying to get that taken care of as much as possible. So. And it's fucking raining, which is literally my favorite fucking weather. So I am like popping.
Okay, so right now, all I'm doing is kind of help flushing any metabolic waste up in this area where it's swollen. And for a while, he's had an issue right specifically in here. It was really hard, some scar tissue. I think it was from fighting. So he would get kicked a lot right here. And we did a lot of work to kind of break it down. I think that last session, we really got in there, and now it's gone down a lot.
Yeah, that was horrible last week.
Yeah, and so I'm just kind of flushing things out. So everything right now, this is called an effleurage. It's just kind of help flush it and warming up the tissue before I go deeper. And gotta be careful around this area. Don't want to go too deep, because even if he doesn't feel pain, it can have negative effects. So it's just doing what his body allows me to do. Anything more is just, yeah.
Since last week, which you guys joined us for us in our last video, a couple things have come up. I didn't really want to talk about it, not because I don't think it was worth talking about, I just wasn't sure. I actually had to go see a doctor by a possible hernia. I was getting a lot of abdominal pain, groin pain. It was concerning, a little deflating to think that, because it was happening for about 3-4 months. And I knew that if I was gonna start training at a real pace, that I had to know. Despite the fact that I thought it was based on imbalances and muscular stuff, I just needed to know. I wanted to get a professional opinion so I can go full tilt, because hernias are not something to fuck around with. Good news, I don't have one, so that's great. I feel like I wasted that doctor's time, but I don't have one, and that's great. That was like I really fucking needed that W pretty bad. To be honest with you, I don't think I could have taken another hit like that. I wasn't really ready for that. I had my mind planned for several outcomes, whether it was good or bad, or even just normal. but I just needed that W really bad. There's just a lot of stress going on into the last few weeks of my life, good and bad, and I just needed that W, so great news. And then after that, you know, it was just like a green light for me to actually be a little bit more confident in my ability. As you guys have seen, the training's starting to pick up. We just came back from my buddy Gavin, who we had some PT. We mentioned him in the first video, working with him right around the corner. So we got that a little stimulation, you know, obviously getting some of this stuff broken up, and not pushing it, just getting enough for the training session, and that was prior to that. So what you're gonna see coming now is overhead press, which is fucking great because I love strict press. It's the thing that I can train at the hardest. It doesn't involve my fucking legs right now. I'm not doing any kind of push pressing, anything dynamic, just kind of raw dogging that strength, and just pressing overhead, getting my shoulders strong, my lats strong, and allowing myself to really go and not have to kind of baby the knee and be careful with any kind of scar tissue. I feel real strong in that. I feel confident in overhead press, and there's something that I need in training sessions sometimes. I just need to let that wild animal loose. I need to push, and I miss that shit. And I wasn't getting that in bodybuilding. No offense to bodybuilding, I'm not a fucking bodybuilder. I'm a performance athlete. I like to dig consciously in psychology and spiritually. And I know that overhead right now is probably one of the things that I can do full tilt. And traditionally it's something that I sucked at. So to feel confident again, to feel tenacious again, almost ravenous to do something like that is super fucking addicting. So this is a pin press, or an Anderson pin press. What I'll be doing is pressing dead weight from the actual pins or the safety bars. Because I don't have too much leg drive on the leg yet, we're doing a lot of strict work. I'm not doing any kind of bending. You know, as you can see, there's been some atrophy, so I don't want to keep developing an imbalance. So the best thing you want to do, and like this has been prescribed by Rogers, is to press off the pin, meaning every press will be dead weight. So I'm not gonna let it hover above my shoulders or my atrocious mobility. I'm gonna let it go dead, up, dead weight, so that we're building, you know, that kind of static strength again and that stability on this movement, because overhead press is everything for a strongman. Last week I did 25 because I was pussyfooting. I need to feel my way out, but I've lost a lot of stability in my trunk from being, you know, compensating. So when you're doing unilateral work like that, it's a lot about staying in a great position, and a lot of people negate the value of doing things seated down or one arm or dumbbells in general. You can't let machines baby you the whole time. So I gotta get my ass strong again in this sense. Everyone thinks when I say not strong that I don't recognize that I'm strong in some ways, but not how I wanna be. It's a fucking difference. Whew. So as you guys saw, kicked me in the fucking dick, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Overhead press to me is one of the most underused strength movements out there, not so much for strongman, but just in general. I feel really passionate about a session like that. It's almost like you gotta earn your fucking dinner, and I hope that was a fucking steak dinner. So coming up soon, like you said, and like you guys have seen through the dates and the videos, we try to film these a week in advance, mainly because we have a fucking life. And I got to give it up to my camera guy and one of my best friends, Gabby. We fucking pulling this shit out hard. So we do it a week in advance to give us a little bit of a buffer. So what you guys are gonna see coming forward and going forward, next week I'd like to see a different training session. No surprise hernia doctor's appointments. And more importantly, our 9-year anniversary for the Battle Axe Gym, which is happening, well, literally in 3 days on the 15th at Unbranded Brewery. We're gonna drink our own beers, celebrate with family, friends, Battle Axe people. And that is a very important thing in my life, besides being able to train again. So again, thank you guys for watching these videos. I mean, it means a lot to us. Now we can say that because we have a few under our fucking belt. And I hope that you guys are as motivated as me and Gabby to make this shit fucking happen. Does my butt look good?
Yeah.
Good.